everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I'll be continuing What If Naruto Was a Sword God, and without further ado, let's just get into it. So, so we start this one off with, the whole Anbu from Danzo's whole, little setup of people coming to tell, coming to try to take Zabuza and Haku's body, because, I think Haku's dead. I can't remember. Yeah, I think Haku's dead. Uh, anyway, so yeah, they're coming to take their bodies, and Naruto. Well, first off, Zabuza don't want to go, mainly because Naruto still has the Executioner's blade, and he's still trying to get that, but he isn't. He don't know if he can get it back, cause Naruto did beat him in a fight, so technically speaking, he don't necessarily have the right to wield the sword anymore. Anyway, so yeah, Naruto so Naruto's confused and he looks at Sasuke, and this is the first time within the first few hours of them walking that they have not been arguing. So they look at each other like what the hell is going on? Like, who are they? And Kakashi tells him so we might have to give up Zabuza because those are Anbu members, those are elite soldiers. And as they're talking about it, Naruto's like, nah, we're not giving up nobody. I don't I don't like their faces. They wear masks, and as he's saying this, Kakashi's like, but half of my face is covered. They're Anbu members, right? And Naruto's like, yeah, nah, I just don't see us giving up. I just can't see us giving up Zabuza. It's not in here. I can't see it in here. Right? So Naruto picks because he's been dragging the executioner's blade this whole time. He picks up the executioner's blade and hoists it over his shoulder, and he's like, well, if you're going to come and get him, come and get him, right? And Kakashi, he sees the Anbu members, and he could clearly tell that this was an order directly from Danzo. So most likely it could have came from Hiruzen, but it most likely just came strictly from Danzo. So he know that they most likely gonna try to kill him. Like Naruto, they gonna try to kill him, or at least put him in his place because he got the Nine Tails in him, and they might not have the strength to deal with all that right now, right? Right. So as Kakashi's thinking about all of this, one of the Anbu members, they just get fed up with Naruto. So they they start running at him. Typical stuff. Typical shinobi stuff. And then they vanish because they're an Anbu member. So they do all little flashy stuff. And they pull out their little sword. Because he had a sword too. And as he pulls out his sword and clashes with Naruto, I wouldn't say Naruto knows the Shadow Clone, jutsu. But as they clash, Naruto leaves an after image. Naruto moves so fast and hit this man in the back. He messed this man's up. Man's not getting back up. He's not dead, but they gotta carry man's back. Naruto deep gash down his back. He's messed up. He's messed up. Um, yeah. So dudes other two Anbu members that was with him, they're like, okay, so we gotta take him out together. Cause this shit is unnatural. This is a child. He gotta go. Doesn't matter. He has to die. Right? So at this point in time, Kakashi's baffled because he didn't think Naruto had it in him, and nobody else thought Naruto had it in him. Not even Danzo, not Danzo, fucking Zabuza. Zabuza was in the background, okay, me is one thing, but an Anbu member is a completely different story, right? And so at this point in time, I'll be clear, it was a fodder Anbu member. He didn't really have anything going for him. He just had a sword. So yeah, there wasn't too much in that. It's not like he had the little poison bugs or some other or wood style release or some shit like that. He literally just had a sword. He was just a really good swordsman. He just fucked up. He came across the wrong person, right? So anyway, with that being said, the other two are also fodder, but before they could actually fight Naruto, not I wouldn't say Hiruzen, but a few other shinobi pop up on the scene because you could kind of feel Naruto's chakra. It's not being dampened by the Nine Tails, or he's not dampening it himself. So you can kind of feel him kind of almost every other place that he's in. So they pop up on the scene. They're like, "Hey, Naruto." So the other Abu members, they look around and they see the other people popping up, and they're like, "Okay, we got to get our guy and leave." So they grab their guy, and as they're leaving, Naruto is like, "Oh, so we're running? What happened? I thought we were getting Zabuza, right?" And then he puts the executioner's blade back on the ground and just start dragging it back to the other, start dragging it back to what's you know, and Zabuza's like, stop dragging the sword on the floor, like You do know that doesn't help it like at all, right? And Naruto, it tells him like, bro, the sword is about half, if not more, my body size. Shut up talking to me. You can have it back when you beat me, right? Yeah. Anyway, with that being said, they take Zabuza and they bury Haku because I really want to say he died. I really hope he is. I really want to say he got cooked. But they bury Haku and Zabuza ends up going to the hospital and but he puts under like extreme surveillance to the extent they got like Ambu members around the doors, but they don't know who's Ambu members is who's at this point because you got to remember Haruzen got Ambu members inside of Danzo's stuff, and Danzo got Ambu members inside of his stuff. It's just a bunch of weird, you know. With that being said, um, yeah. So a few days pass, and Kakashi gathers up his little group of kids, his little team, and tells them about the tuning exams and tell them that they're coming up. And Naruto, at this point in time, he did some training with the Executioner's Blade, and instead of dragging it on the ground, he always has it hoisted over his shoulders now. So there's that. And Kakashi tells him, maybe for the tournament, you shouldn't be carrying around the Executioner's Blade. Maybe you should go back to your regular sword. And Naruto tells him, I was thinking the same thing. Anyway, since Kakashi's kind of good with the sword, and he already know Sasuke, if he can match Naruto's fighting style, which is extremely stupid, Sasuke could be cold too, right? Anyway, so he tells Sasuke, why don't you train with Naruto in sword fighting, and I could go help Sakura find a teacher for like the first two, because they had a few. I want to say they had a week or something of prep time, or something like that. Right, right. You see where I'm going with this? Because peep game, nothing really gonna happen with Sakura, so she gonna learn maybe a few new healing techniques and maybe something like physical based. Because honestly, they're not going to find Tsunade. I'm leaving that up to Jiraiya and Naruto still. But yeah, she's gonna learn a few new things. But like Naruto and Sasuke are my main focus for right now, specifically for these 2, 4, maybe 5 days that I'm gonna give them. Right? Anyway, so like Naruto goes ahead and finds Sasuke a sword, and Sasuke he activates his Sharingan because he's seen Naruto fight with a sword. At this point, he's seen Naruto like it was different when they were fighting with Kunai earlier in like when they were in school compared to him now. Like Naruto has fought people that are known for their swordsmanship and been able to hold his own. So he's like he gets his sword, he activates his Sharingan, and they go at it. And as they go at it, like Sasuke's like not matching his speed, but like he so far ain't been able to do nothing but block, literally nothing, right? Until I'm gonna say maybe like the second, like 2.5 days in, he start like being able to somewhat counterattack, just slightly, like something slight. Then I'm gonna say on the fifth day, they just about done. Naruto and him was having like decent training sessions and sword fighting. Naruto know he can't, wholeheartedly, and Sasuke know that too, and that make him mad. Like, dang, this man is holding back, and I can't even. Mm, that make me mad, right? So he's like, because he still got his little emo stuff going on. So even though he's chilling with Naruto, he still got that resentment for Naruto, because even though like he's able to keep up in some meaning when it comes to sword fighting, Naruto always seems like a few drastic steps ahead of him because he's a fucking god. Anyway, um, so they get to the Chunin exams, and as they're getting registered, all that stuff, they still have that altercation with Rock Lee. But instead of like Rock Lee just calling out, Sasuke, he calls out Naruto too because Naruto has been traveling around. Because at this point in time, uh, um, Zabuza has gotten out of the hospital. Like it's been a decent week, and you gotta understand there are healing ninjas all throughout the leaf, and he almost got kidnapped by the Black Ops. So Hiruzen's immediate thought process, in my personal opinion, would have been to get not Danzo, Zabuza back on his feet before anything else could crack, and at least give him a sword like similar to the Executioner's Blade, not to the extreme extent, but it's decently sized. Like he still got it. Like he still got him a little sword. It's just it don't like replenish his strength. This one just got a chain on it though. It's big and got a chain on it, so when he throw it at people, he can drag that jank back like a madman. Oh, oh man. Anyway, so yeah, that's what's going on. So Zabuza is like one of the guards. Not even a guard. He's like a watcher. He's like one of yeah. So after I want to say that whole week Naruto and Sasuke was training, Hiruzen was like visiting like Zabuza, not underneath not underneath the sense of he was concerned, but underneath the sense of I don't want you to get kidnapped. Like, cause we don't know what Zabuza was planning to, not Zabuza. We don't know what Danzo was planning to do with you, and if you would have got kidnapped, G, we probably wouldn't have been able to save you, right? And Zabuza respect that. So like at this point in time, Zabuza is like one of Hiruzen's like protectors. Like it's not set in stone. They obviously don't trust him enough to just leave him in a room with Hiruzen. But like Hiruzen don't care because the worst that can happen is he could kill me. I'm the third Hokage. We're supposed to have a fourth, and I'm supposed to be in dead. Like not dead, but like in retirement or dead. One of those two. I can't give out yet because nobody stepped up to the mantle. Anyway, with that being said, um, I'm gonna start the written portion, and Naruto isn't as dumb, so the written portion kind of goes, yeah, it's thought process, it's panned out, and um, Hinata and Neji's fight doesn't go as the same because Hinata actually liked training to a certain extent, and after a while, Neji started noticing her improvements and did fucking hate her guts, like, like dang, bro, that's your cousin, chill. Like, don't get me wrong, I understand, bro, but the hate that was for her father. Honestly, if you think about it, all the hatred that Neji had for Hinata was directed toward her father. He just immediately took it out on Hinata, even though the seal on his head literally prevented him from doing so. So to me, it didn't make any sense as to how he was able to beat Hinata damn near to death in the middle of the Chunin exams arena when the seal on his head directly prevented him from doing that. Unless I was mistaken and the seal wasn't put on his head until later in the series. My bad. Let's get back into the what if. Anyway, so yeah, their fight doesn't go the same. He doesn't beat her to near death, but he does still win, and does still prompt Naruto to say, "Oh, don't worry, Hinata, I'm gonna beat him up in the finals. Like I'm gonna get your boy sturdy. That might be your cousin, but I'm gonna get him right if I see him." Type stuff, right? So this, because Naruto is still Hinata's friend in this one. To an extreme extent, like he's the reason why she trains more now. With that being said, we're gonna move on. Sakura and Ino's fight, I don't know if I said her name right, doesn't go the same way either. Instead of it being a tie, Sakura had learned one more offensive ability. Not even an offensive ability. Sakura learned the Shadow Clone Jutsu. That's who learns it. Ah, ah, ah. So Sakura learned Jump a Person Jutsu. I don't know if I can say that word on YouTube. Anyway, um, yeah. So Sakura learns the Shadow Clone, and in the midst of the fight, when they're like extremely tired, instead of Sakura using like the last bit of her chakra for some random chakra infused kunai, we're gonna say that's what happened. I don't fucking know. Haven't watched the series in a long time. Uh, we're gonna say she used Shadow Clone and overpowered, because she tried to use that brain transformation thing that she do on the Shadow Clone, and it didn't work, and she got punched on because of it. Anyway, with that being said, that fight's over. Naruto fights Kiba. You should know how this fight's gonna go. I shouldn't have to explain it, but for simplicity's sake, we're gonna give it a go, right? Anyway, so Naruto goes at Kiba runs at Naruto, and Naruto just beats him with the scabbard of his sword. Like he doesn't even draw the sword. He's like, "There's no point. You're not gonna pull out no kunai. You fight with your dog, so I'm gonna beat you with the butt of my sword, like with the scabbard." So not like they're fighting, and Naruto's just shmacko beating this man. And at some point in time, Kiba just like, you know what? I give up because you're not fighting me for real. And literally, Naruto couldn't fight him for real because his sword was still sheathed. Naruto's powers only really activate when his sword is unsheathed because he does not have full control over his abilities yet. With that being said, we're gonna move forward. Anyway, so everybody kind of notes that, like, bro, man's just beat him with a scabbard. Like, he still got his sword, like, he still knows how to use a sword, even with it being still sheathed. But like he can't infuse the scabbard with chakra type stuff. It doesn't work like that. Anyway, I gotta give him some debuffs. Anyway, so we're gonna move on to like Rock Lee. Well, yeah. Besides that, every other fight goes to canon. We're gonna skip on to the finals, and the finals up to this point. We're gonna say Sasuke fights Sakura before the fight before Naruto and Neji, and then Sasuke goes on to fight Gaara after. Yeah, yeah. So, Sasuke wins that fight. Naruto goes on to fight Neji. Neji goes on because although he's still although he messed with Sakura, not Sakura, Hinata, he still got that resentment toward like the whole Hyuga royal family type deal, and he know Naruto's like friends with Hinata, so he goes on his spiel, and Naruto just draws his sword and was like, "Man, listen, I don't care about none of that. You said you was cold with them fingers. Pick them fingers up so we could run these hands. Well, so you could run these hands and I could swing this sword. What we on, right? Anyway, that's not exactly how he said it, but I'm gonna simplify. I simplified it. Anyway, so yeah, he he pulls up. Yeah, right. So Neji gets into his fighting stance, and they start squaring up. Like they start fighting. And in the midst of their fight, Naruto's like he actually is enjoying himself because a part of Neji's technique is his like the more hits he lands, the faster the technique get. And Naruto's blocking like every other two hits, so Neji's like having a recount, and it's like they're going crazy. He's shutting off Naruto's chakra points, and Naruto's like shutting off using his sword infused with chakra. So people is noting like Neji can't use his left arm, and neither can Naruto use his right. So they're sitting here just throwing like they're literally going at it. They're going at it so bad at this point. There's a dust cloud picking up around them, right? And like for like a brief moment, nobody can see nothing, and then like Naruto and Neji jump back, and Naruto at this point got got his sword, like his hand, right? Yeah, he got his sword in his mouth, and like Neji was like, "See, you can't even use your arms now," and like Naruto laughs at him and was like, "Neither can you." Right, and Neji looks down, and right, like on his little wrist is like a little, just a slight little cut, and he can't feel. He didn't puncture his stuff. It's just Naruto's energy isn't that precise, so he has to cut him to shut off his chakra point. Anyway, so Naruto was well, Neji was like, so it's a draw, right? Because neither of us could fight like this. And Naruto was like, ha, lies. And he jumps back he jumps against the wall and flies at Neji at like stupid speeds. And Neji like ducks and he's like, I surrender. Like this is crazy. He just jumped at me like a bullet with a sword in his mouth, right? And like yeah, that's how the fight ended. And Neji kind of gained some respect for Naruto because in the end, Naruto didn't pull no slick trick with the Shadow Clone Jutsu. They was literally just out there throwing hands in the middle of the arena. But Naruto was using the sword. Anyway, so I forgot who else was gonna fight after. Oh yeah, Sasuke and Gaara. So yeah, their fight goes on, and Naruto taught Sasuke how to like kind of infuse his chakra into his sword. So yeah, instead of using regular schmegular chakra, Sasuke early on uses fire release on his sword. That's another thing that he learned how to do, but he learned how to do that by himself. Naruto didn't know he could do that because he learned that he was going to be fighting Gaara in the finals, and figured he had to do something to match Gaara, because this is going to be ridiculous. He saw Lee fight Gaara, and Lee's damn near super soldier without them weights on, and well, a super ninja without them weights on, and I'm just an Uchiha with minimal speed and some eyes. I need help. Right? So he went to Kakashi, and Kakashi vaguely thought about Naruto infusing his sword with chakra. So Kakashi, during the brief periods in time in between fights, was off to the side. Although it was taxing, he messed himself up. He's going into this fight extremely tired. I cannot stress this enough, but he did learn the technique. He did. Right? So the dude say ding, and instantly Gaara packs Sasuke up into like a bunch of sand. And as like the counter, like Gaara looks at the ref and was like, "This is it. Like he's gonna choke to death in there if you don't call the match, right?" And Naruto, he's like, "Ain't no way that's how he finna go out. Like we did not just do all that sword fight training. I cut that ball of sand up." Like Naruto is in the stands tripping. Like, you got this, Sasuke, bro. What are you doing? Right? And as all this is going on, Naruto, like, he sits back down. He's like, oh, I see. And Naruto begins, like, everybody with the, like, eyes with the Kekkei Genkai could kind of see the chakra in the ball building up, right? Because Sasuke was like, if anything, I'm gonna use this as a means to, like, try to conserve, like, to absorb some chakra. So that's what he was doing. He was, slightly meditating to get some chakra back before, he broke out the ball, because he was doing all that training on the side when he wasn't supposed to. Fucking dumbass. Anyway, um, yeah, so he gets done, charging up his little bit of chakra, and he can't hold the sword for long, so he gotta finish the fight in like 2 minutes. Because with him moving, his eyes activated, and him using his sword, the flaming sword he about to use, that's gonna hurt, right? So boom, he cuts up the ball using the flaming sword, and everybody's shocked, and even Gara, like he's a little struck. Like what? When did people start putting fire on swords? I knew Naruto put chakra on his sword. I seen that with fire, and Naruto in the stands, he's going nuts. Like, he's like, I knew you had something. I knew you had something up your sleeve. You, that's my boy, right? And like Sakura hits Naruto in the back of the head, like, boy, if you don't sit your ass still, got acting up, right? Anyway, so this kind of makes Gara mad, because everybody's kind of cheering for Sasuke, because nobody expected that, and that looked cold. So he goes in with some more sand, and Sasuke is using I almost said Naruto. Sasuke is using the the sand that he is using, like, to come at him as a means to get closer to him. And like, as he's moving, like, Naruto and every other person can note, this chakra that he got is burning fast. Like, if you had a sparkler and you were waving it around in the sky, type fast. Like, this is burning. This is like Kaioken levels of fuckery right now. Anyway, so he goes and he cuts, like, he vaguely gets close to Gara, and Gara puts up a shield, and he goes and cuts the shield, and as he cuts the shield, he jumps back, and Gara, like, when the shield, like, cracks and breaks because it can't reform because of the flame, because it's turning the sand into glass, so, like, the two glass pieces fall and the shield falls, and, like, you can clearly see the little, like, mirror, like, the little skin of sand cracked into and on fire, and Gara's like behind it, and that's when he goes and spazzes into turning into the One Tails, because that's still a thing. So Naruto immediately sensing the immediate danger, like right after the sand shield cracked, Naruto sensed the danger of like the One Tails, and he only sensed it so bad because as the One Tails was getting ready to come out, the Nine Tails inside of him was starting to act up too. Like, the Nine Tails was more or less concerned about Naruto's progression in the storyline. He's like, I want to see how this man I want to see how this man grows up. Naruto is a demon. He might be a god, but there's nothing godly about him. Anyway, yeah. So he basically gets like halfway into his transformation, and as everybody is like panicking, the genjutsu activates and sleeps everybody before everybody can really like get out and start spreading fear. And then Kakashi tries to get Naruto out, and he notices that Sakura's knocked out, right? So he's like, well, what the hell is this? If you're asking, yes, I did skip that little part where they had to go out into the forest. Why? Because Danzo tried to kidnap somebody, and Hiruzen was not risking it. So, Sasuke doesn't have that curse mark on his neck. So there's that. Anyway, just wait. Just wait. Anyway, so Naruto, in all of his Naruto-ness, he takes his sword out, and it turns into the flat side, and tries to smack the halfway turned Gaara out of the Leaf Village, so it doesn't turn into another massacre. And the person that told him to do this, lo and behold, was the Nine Tails himself. Why? Because what was most likely going to end up happening was they was going to try to find a way to blame it on the Nine Tails, or some like that. That was his thought process, right? So the Naruto does it, and it only gets him like onto like the outer edges of the arena, like onto the roof. And Naruto does it again. He jumps up there wholeheartedly and smacks Gaara one more good time. And you got to keep in mind, Gaara is trying to fight the transformation too. Like, he's mad at Sasuke, yeah, but you got to think he don't like the One Tails. So it's not like he likes to turn into this man. So, he's fighting. Naruto smacks him into the sky. And at this point in time, he's like flying, like toward the valley. Like, he's like just into the woods. And Naruto jumps after him. And at this point in time, Kakashi's up on the roof too. And he's like yelling after Naruto not to go out there. Like, that's still the One Tails. You're a child. He'll kill you. Right? And Hiruzen tells him to go and get Naruto and bring him back here. And Hiruzen's like, well, who the fuck is going to protect you? Right? Because as all of this is going on, they're getting attacked by the Sound Village and parts of the Sand Village. Because you got to keep in mind, the deal was made with both the Sound and the Sand Village. So parts of like the Sand Village's elite units are like in the Leaf Village, killing people like soldiers, not regular people, like high-ranking people in the Leaf Village. So like Danzo like walks around and he's like, yeah, well, this is messed up and all, but we gotta have a conversation, Hiruzen. And as he's like, what conversation are we having? The Sand Village leader, the Danzo, and Orochimaru, with both the Hokage, both the first and second Hokages, both like just jumped down, and the Sand Village had two of his like versions of the Anbu members, come with him too. So they're there too. And then like Danzo goes and says, "Well, it's about you stepping down from being the Hokage and letting us, start a new era of peace." And Danzo, like Hiruzen, looks at Kakashi and was like, "You know what? I might need you here." And Hiruzen takes off his cloak, and he's like, "See, you must have thought I wasn't prepared for none of this, Danzo." And he pulls out the staff, and Zabuza, he's like, I haven't fought anybody outside of Naruto, and honestly, I don't think any of y'all are built like him. So let's run it up, right? So as all this is going on, Naruto is like on the brink of fighting Gaara, but he's like trying to tell Gaara like to try to fight the transformation harder because you obviously don't want to transform into this dude, so there's no point. And like and as he's like trying to talk Gaara down, Gaara's like, stop talking to me, fuck away, fucking insect. Anyway, right? So he's going through his whole emotions, and Naruto is like, you know what? Skip it. I'm gonna cut his arm off. And he pulls out his he pulls out his sword again, and he cuts Gaara's arm off. And Gaara's like spazzing because he's like, I've never my own like this is the second time I've felt blood, let alone pain, and this shit is excruciating. And Naruto because this manages to snap Gaara back in some meaning of the word. And Naruto grabs Gaara by the neck and he's like, listen, I don't care what you had going on, but what we won't do is take it out on everybody else because you got issues. You better go home. You better deal with them issues because you got the power to, because you're strong, right? And Naruto is like, he's like, I don't want to kill no strong person. And if you ask me, I feel like you can master the One Tails. And he throws because they were still fighting. So with all the after this good old speech, Naruto just tosses him with all his might to the ground, leaving this decently sized crater. And Gaara just gets up and he still transforms into the One Tails because that shit was demoralizing. You can't give me a speech like that and make me feel like we were friends and then just throw me like a fucking rock. So he gets up and turns into the One Tails, and the One Tails and Naruto begins their fight. But off in the distance, Danzo and everybody notices it. And at this point in time, they have backup. It is not just Kakashi, Zabuza, and Hiruzen up there, but Hiruzen does still get his grave injury to an extent. He can he's not dead, but he's not living past a certain period in time. By the end of this little arc that I'm going through, Hiruzen will be dead. He will die. He will die. This injury will kill him. The injury he got will kill him. Anyway, but they did manage to fight off and seal Orochimaru, and they did manage to also Zabuza managed to kill the Sand Hokage, which resulted in his leaders leaving. So not Danzo, Hiruzen. Fuck, I keep mixing their names up. Zabuza killed um 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 Gaara's dad. Anyway, with that being said, yeah. Um, Naruto ends up bringing Gaara back to the Leaf Village after their fight because there was no real challenge after fucking the One Tails came out because all he was shooting was giant air blasts, and Naruto was small enough to dodge most of them, so it didn't matter anyway. Yeah, so and all he had to do, because most of the body was made out of sand, so all he had to do really was cut enough sand off of the One Tails and pull Gara out of that motherfucker. That's exactly what he did. And oh yeah, there's that. So they go back to the Leaf Village. Naruto learns of Hiruzen's little injury, and as they talking about it, like Jiraiya walks in the room, and Jiraiya's like, what's going on, and Kakashi's like, they don't know if he gonna make it. That they said he gonna they say he got like a month left, and Hiruzen's like, I'll still be the Hokage for right now, but y'all gotta go out to find somebody that will be, or I'll be forced to pass it on to you, right? And all the village elders decided, it's either you or Kakashi, because Kakashi stayed by me and protected me, so they respected that. You know, so Zabuza, yeah, Zabuza was like, yeah, I was there, I was in the room. They didn't trust nobody, so I had to be there. They didn't even trust me, so they had some other Mamu members there watching me. It didn't make sense. I could sense them, and they could sense me. We were just all in the room chilling. Anyway, so yeah, so Dry goes and pulls Naruto off to the side and tell him like, let's go get Tsunade. Like, let's go get the next Hokage leader, like the next Leaf Village leader. And Naruto, he kind of knows of Tsunade because this version of Naruto isn't extremely stupid or nothing. But he get mad, like, what do you mean Tsunade? Like, ain't she a gambling drunk? Like, what are you talking about? She's not worth too much of nothing. And like this kind of make Jiraiya mad. And he like, yo, watch your mouth. That's still like one of the best healing Konoichi in the world. Like, gee, if she could save Hiruzen and become the Leaf Village Hokage, that'd be dope, right? Right. So Naruto is like, skip it. It's important to you, and you knew my like, you claim you knew my peoples. So yeah. Anyway, well, you was like one of the only other people who showed me any other real affection outside of a few other people. So yeah, I'm help you out with this. So yeah, Naruto and Jiraiya heads out on their trip, and as they're heading out on their trip, Sasuke and Sakura ends up, and Kakashi goes out to do more missions, and we're just gonna skip to the point where Jiraiya and um Naruto runs into Tsunade. Right? So they run into her at the bar, like one of them first bars that they would encounter her in. And like at first Naruto didn't even notice her because she was slumped over, drunk. But Jiraiya did. So Jiraiya walks over and he like nudges her on the shoulder, and she pulls, like she gets up and she's like, oh, it's you, right? And because she thought it was a waitress friend, or her little assistant friend. And her little assistant friend walked up to her and was like, oh, it's like Lord Jiraiya. And she bows, and he's like, no, there's no need for all of that. Tsunade, we've come to get you. And Tsunade's like, come to get me. And she hiccups, and she was like, why? And Jiraiya's like, well, to become the Hokage, or to heal Hiruzen, because he got injured by Orochimaru, and he needs your help. And then like that hurt, like she hearing that hurt her, so she was like, oh, that's crazy, but I can't go back. And Naruto was like, oh, there's our answer, we can leave. And like Tsunade looks back, and because she's still in her drunken mess, so with her little sad stupor, she looks back, and it turns from a sad stupor to a little anger, and she's like, well, who the hell is this kid, since he got so much to say. And Naruto turns around and was like, well, I'm Naruto's Maki, and you're Tsunade, the drunken healer, if I'm not mistaken, right? And this makes Tsunade extremely mad because nobody has ever referred to her as the drunken healer, right? And Tsunade was like, well, that's a first. I've never heard that one. So she gets up and she's like, so what do you think? What do you think? I'm not worthy of being Hokage? And Naruto was like, no. I just feel like the two best candidates were already decided. Kakashi or Jiraiya. But yet Jiraiya went to come and find you. So, yes, I do have a problem, I guess. Right? And she's like, well, I'll go and beat it out of you. And Naruto, he grabs a scabbard, like he grabs his sword and begins to unsheath it and was like, is that a challenge? And Jiraiya's not dumb. He's read just about every report on Naruto. So the minute Naruto grabbed his sword, Jiraiya was like, "All right, break it up, break it up." And Naruto was like, "You know what? You're right." And he puts his sword back in his scabbard, and he's like, "I'm gonna wait till she's not drunk." And he walks off. And she's like, "Oh yeah, cause I'll be waiting, buddy." And Jiraiya was like, oh my god, ma'am, I promise you, if you lose to this child, you'll be the first Sani, like actual full blown, like Zabu's is one thing, ma'am, but you're a Sani and you're supposed to be up there. I promise you, if you lose to this child tomorrow, oh, you will come back to the Leaf Village if you lose. He's probably not going to let you live this down, but you know you're going to have to come back, because if not, he most likely will try to kill you. Like, if he wins this fight, and as he's like explaining this to Tsunade like just pushes him away, like, just shut the fuck up. Damn, right? And she's like, he's not going to beat me. He's a child. Did you not see his size? And, right, Naruto, like, he hears all of this, so he's just chuckling, like, this little girl has no idea, right? So they get a little in, and this is where I'm in this part off, and end as in like a little hotel they're spending the night. But this is where I'm in this part off. If y'all enjoyed the video, drop a like. If you enjoyed my content, please subscribe. But before I really go, I'm going to be gone for like a week, so I probably won't be posting all of next week coming up. Well, this week coming up. So, yeah, just let y'all know.